Serato. What up, this is A-Trak, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a house track using the Fool's Gold sample pack on Serato Studio. Serato Studio is a really intuitive program for beat making, especially if you come from a DJing background. I mean, even just the simple fact that you have access to your Serato DJ library is huge. So I know I'm going to go for 124 BPM, and we're going to go Groovy House Drum Kit from the Fool's Gold sample pack. So on my kick, I'm going to right click and say fill in quarter notes. And now I have a kick on every beat. So this first drum track is really just my main, kick, snare, and clap. Let's record. All right. Even though there's a few other things I want to add to the drum groove, I'm going to go ahead and load in the bass line, because what Serato Studio does is when you bring in your first sort of musical element in the track, it recognizes the key that it's in and it sets the whole session on that key. Let's see what I have bass-wise in here. Let's go for this one. So, drop it in here. Automatically, it's going to go and set some markers. We're going to mess with that in a sec. But the main thing that I want to point out is that I'm in the key of A minor. I just wanted to set that right from the start. Let's build more drum elements. Here, kick loop. Yeah, this is the one that I want. This is already on the grid, so I know that I can actually just literally fill out this note, and I bet you it's going to sound fine. That's all I want. That's just one element. But a lot of how I build my house beats is just these little building blocks that add a swing to stuff. Speaking of swings, I'm going to bring in another drum kit that has some swing and hats. What do I have? This is what I was looking for. The rest of the kick is a little more electro. It's not the feel of the song, but just for this, and actually I like this clap too, we're going to bring those guys in. Let's start recording. I want another percussion loop. Right now I'm just making my intro beat in the sequence, and in a sec I'll start adding more melodic elements for the other sequences. Let's just write this in. So it already sounds great, if I may say so myself. This loop had a low-endy thing that I actually like, but this guy, I'm gonna start sidechaining in a producer talk. When we say sidechain, we usually mean sidechain compression, which is a type of ducking where any given track, the volume will duck when another element from another track plays. And that's used in electronic music a lot because your kick is so dominant that you actually can get a more impactful result if you make other elements of the song duck out of the way every time a kick hits. So you end up with a mix that can be really loud and where your kick is still really clear. So I'm on this perc loop, and I'm gonna go and browse. And there's some really great presets already. So I'm gonna go to sidechain, hard sidechain, and then I just decide how much I want to sidechain. Here, if I push it that much, I'm really just hearing what's between the kicks. If I have it around here, it's kind of just ducking out of the way a bit. I'm just gonna go by ear. Actually, I'm gonna EQ this a little too. Bring some mids out. So that's gonna be my little intro. You know what? I'm gonna turn that clap down a bit. Main clap. I'm literally just gonna bring this guy down a little bit. I just like that better. Your drum beat in the beginning, that's usually where the DJ is mixing in. Then you got some sort of either a bass line or a groove or, something that feels like a loop. Then sometimes that's gonna go into either a more hype version of it or a more subdued version of it, because you can't just stay at the same level the whole time. House music has a lot of dynamics. And then you've got breakdown elements that tend to bring some melody to, and vocal things that give the track even more identity. So I actually want to have a little tom fill before the track kicks off. So I'm gonna call this guy intro 2. And let me bring in some toms, high, mid, low, chord. Okay, so that's my little fill before my bass line is gonna come in. I'm gonna go and select the first intro because I don't need that tom fill. And having that selected, I'm gonna hit copy. And I'm already calling this bass line because I see the future. So I'm gonna go and put 1 bar of a hit. So what I want here is I actually just want this to pick up where this ended, and you can see visually the little separator. So what I'm gonna do, and I'm zooming with the mouse here, is I'm literally just gonna drag this marker where my grid is hitting the second bar. And let's just see how that feels. And then sometimes, because the MIDI note starts exactly on the downbeat, if you end up with something that's playing a little earlier or a little late, the easiest thing is to play with the marker. So let's see how this feels. That actually sounds on beat. Which one is my third guy? So I'm just gonna visually even place this guy on the downbeat, and I'm in 3/4. Let's just see if this lands on. So starting from the beginning of the phrase. All right, this never happens, but I don't have to nudge anything. Yeah, going great. We're gonna put a little sidechain on this. Doesn't have to be that strong. A lot of times you can use it subtly just to keep everything in place. If you're making the type of track where you want a certain amount of loudness, it just helps carve out space, really is what it's doing. So I want my kick to still be audible while the bass line is hitting some low end territory. So I'm gonna bring in the hard sidechain. But see, I don't need it to duck that much. That's not the style I'm going for, so I'm just gonna keep it around here. You don't notice it that much, but it's actually keeping everything in the right place. When I hear this, I get a little idea for a little clap fill. So I haven't used this 909 clap yet, but it's just kind of giving me this sort of electro vibe. For this to have the impact I want, I'm gonna add some reverb. Try this guy, I'm not even sure. Bring it down a bit. I like where that sits. The next instinctive, sort of intuitive thing I want to hear is a version of this that's a little more hype. I know I have these sounds on the drum kit that I can put on the upbeat for more energy. So I'm going to do copy, hype. And in this part, I'm gonna take those claps out. This bass line is a four bar phrase, which is cool, but I think sometimes in club music, the simpler phrases and the ones that don't have as much movement allow you to stretch stuff out for even longer, to extend the section. So I'm gonna create a copy of this where I'm gonna sort of simplify the bass loop just to keep it going longer. And this guy is gonna be called groove, I guess. In that first bar that there's more movement, so what if I just do this? That works. I'm hearing even more sort of percussive stuff, and I'm hearing some sort of one-shot vocal. So let's go shopping for that. Just like that. I mean, I got this guy too. Let's just put this in here. Let me just see how this feels. I'm gonna try a little stutter thing. This guy should be all the way to here. There we go. Okay, let's look for a little one-shot thing, little vocal.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna change the release of this. If I put more release time, then I don't have to worry about how long my note is. All right, what's next? We got our bass line, we got our little hype stuff, we got the groove. I think it's time for some melody. House music loves pianos. Now, this should do the trick. Let's go to one of our simpler patterns. Copy this into here. It's gonna be piano. We're gonna remove bassline stuff. Let me go and take those claps out. You literally just click through them. So you see how this has 4 things to it. And I kind of want to change it to 3. I kind of want it to go bum, 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 and then have some air. So I'm going to put a marker on this guy. Yep. So rather than, I can just go, right? And then I like the little change of notes that happens after a while. So this, I'm just gonna put it at the start of the phrase. And just to have some little options here, I have this chord available. So I'm just gonna grab one of these markers that I'm not using. Okay, so I've got, and if I want that last one, it's also here. Okay, plot twist. I'm gonna see how this sounds if I take out some of the drums for a sec. So we're gonna copy this over. When it first comes in, it's gonna be silence. I'm gonna clear that, clear that. I love how it just draws the waves. Go to the next one. There's still this vocal thing that I want to bring in, but we can already start building out the track. So when I click on song view, I've already got the intro pattern at the first slot. And I'm thinking, just having made a few of these before, I'm gonna do like a 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of thing. So intro 2, as you recall, had a little drum fill. Bring in my bass line. I'm thinking 2 of these, bass line hype, 2 of these, groove, maybe 2 of these. I mean, I'll listen to this in a sec. I just want to kind of start dragging stuff in. Let's look for maybe another kind of bass loop. I want to see what this sounds like. like this guy. Gonna do a little sidechain on this baby. In this part of the track, after I've had my melodic breakdown, I want to bring in an a cappella. I had a track in 2007 called Say Whoa, and then one time, maybe a year or two later, I made a different version of the vocal with a robot voice, and that's what this file is, which I shared for the first time ever on the Fool's Gold sample pack.
They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say.
I can literally just drag this whole thing. And I know I wanted to play during my groove section. So I'm gonna line it up down.
They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear.
Okay, EQ-wise it's a little funny. Key-wise it's a little funny. I'm gonna take sync out.
They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say.
I'm gonna try to EQ this a bit. Tone balance.
They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and.
The old sidechain. I have an idea, so I already know that at these spots, like here and probably here, it's gonna go. I'm gonna play it till there, but I want a little breakdown there. I kind of need to treat this in smaller segments, so I'm gonna make the pattern shorter. So let me delete these guys. Go back to the main one, cut it in half. And then I'm gonna make a variation of it where there's little dropouts, mutes. So now I take 3 of these, my good sir, and 1 of these. And I bet you something like this will be sort of suited for a little variation there. So let's play it.
They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. You hear the bass and you say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. They hear the bass and they say whoa. I hear the bass and I say whoa. We hear the bass and we say whoa.
Right, during the we here, when there's 2 voices playing, I want to cut some stuff out. So let's see what we have. So I'm working on this and this, right? So I'm in that pattern. And the second half, I'm just gonna do a bare kick and snare. Anything that's not kick and clap is getting the axe.
I hear the bass and I say whoa. We hear the bass and we say whoa. We hear the bass and we say whoa. We hear.
Okay, so I want the a cappella to end there. That's just my little vocal moment. So let's go. And I want the whoa to actually still be there on that last downbeat. So visually, I feel like it's gonna be like.
Hear the bass and you say whoa.
Okay. And as this plays, I'm gonna turn this guy up a little bit, master compressor. You know what? I want this to be twice as long and that to be twice as long. So let's take all of these, do that, boom, this, boom, boom. Let's try it. I think what I'm gonna do is just make a sort of stripped down piano pattern just to sort of end the track. So piano 3, it's not gonna have, right? So I'm hitting that solo button. That's always useful. Take that out of piano 3, and these little groovy guys, clear them out. And then I'm gonna do one that doesn't even have hats. Yo, piano 4. Clear. Right, so all I'm hearing is that little loop. under it, but I like that. This one, I'm gonna bring the what back. Cool. Let's play it from the top. We got a 3-minute song.
You hear the bass and you say whoa.
Gonna break down to the piano. So if anything beyond this, if I wanted to do more, there could be just a little bit of automation, especially for transitions between sections. Maybe some of those whats could have like a little delay tail at the end of a phrase or something. And aside from that, the track has kind of plenty of elements. So all right, so this concludes the A-Trak guide to making a house track using the Fool's Gold sample pack on Serato Studio, which is available now. As you can see, it's very intuitive. It's also advanced when you need it to be. Until next time, I'm out.